This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. Blessed Thursday. Today is November 2, 2022. Trust that everybody is having a wonderful morning so far. And in the news this morning, boat captain fined $2 million for smuggling ganja. A boat captain was on Wednesday fined a total of $2,015,000 in the Manchester Parish Court for smuggling ganja. Richard Lindo was arrested and charged after the vessel he and the two men were traveling in was intercepted by the Jamaica Defense Force Coast Guard on September 21, 2021 off the coast of Manchester, and 1,680 pounds of ganja seized in 38 knitted bags. Throughout the course of the proceedings, the other two occupants of the vessel, Lloyd Bennett and Keiga James, absconded bail. Linda pleaded guilty on September 22 of this year to possession, dealing, and trafficking ganja. On Wednesday, he was fined $15,000 or 6 months imprisonment for possession of ganja, $1 million or 2 years for dealing in ganja, and $1 million or 2 years for trafficking ganja. Linda was represented by attorney Thomas Levine. Meanwhile, the person who stood as surety for Bennett was taken into custody before being offered bail. Bennett had previously pleaded guilty and should have appeared on Wednesday for sentencing, but his attorney informed the court that information was that Bennett had left the island and is in custody in the Cayman Islands. The person who stood as surety was offered bail in the sum of $500,000 and to report it to the Pedro Plains Police Station weekly. The surety is to return to court on December 9. St. Elizabeth woman grieves as her brother's dispute turns deadly. A grief-stricken Michelle Laws is still in disbelief and shock that her son, 28-year-old Renroy Francis, was fatally mowed down allegedly by his brother following a dispute near their family home on Monday night near the South Manchester Southeast St. Elizabeth border. Me never see them fight. Them never in an argument, none at all. Me no know what go on between the two of them. Me can't tell you, me can't explain what happened between the two of them, she said on Tuesday. A police report said about 10:30 p.m. the brothers were at a bar when an argument developed over who should foot a bill. The argument reportedly continued outside the establishment. Police said the accused used his motor vehicle to hit his brother and fled the scene. The injured man was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. His brother was subsequently held by the police in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Laws has been left puzzled as to the sequence of events involving her sons, who she said defended each other. If one somebody out a road a war one, the other one go take up for the other one. Nobody can war one and the other no go in, she said. It hurt bad, but me can't tell you what happened between the two of them, she added. She said Renroy lived with her in Littis while his younger brother worked in Kingston. She vividly remembers her last encounter with Renroy. The last time my son said to me, "Mommy, me no wash the plate them you know because you no left out no fab." Him know say me a go come home and quarrel if me see the plate them no wash, Laws said. Him said to him, "Look, brother, me love you, you know. Not more from Renroy more than Renroy did. God give me the strength, me tired. Me no know how me a go manage," she said. "It hurt me, man. Sometimes me just want block it out of my head. Me no want think about it," said the grieving mother. She recalled the times when Renroy would ask to access the internet via her mobile hotspot. Renroy would come in and say, "Mommy, last favor me a beg you, you know, mommy. Last favor, me a beg you turn on your hotspot on your phone, make me get a call." No more of that, no more of him knocking me door and say, "Mommy, you alright?" said the distraught mother. Mother of alleged MP murderer released from custody. The mother of Simeon Sutherland, who was taken into custody after he last Wednesday absconded minutes before a court appearance to answer charges for the 2019 murder of former People's National Party Member of Parliament Dr. Linval Bloomfield, has been released. Sutherland's mother, who was the surety for his $800,000 bail bond, was ordered to be taken into custody by Supreme Court Judge Leighton Pusey until arrangements are made in relation to the bond after her son fled. The news was reliably informed that the sum was paid over the very evening and the mother released. In the meantime, however, investigations ordered by the Director of Public Prosecutions, Paul Llewellyn, King's Counsel, into possible attempts to pervert the course of justice in respect of the Sutherlands. There has, however, still been no information on the whereabouts of Sutherland to date, Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of crime Fitzbailey told the news. Sutherland, for whom a manhunt was triggered, is facing charges of murder and the misprision of felony in connection with the stabbing death of Bloomfield at his Paisley Gardens home in Portland on February 2, 2019. Sutherland, who had been granted bail by the parish court as part of his bail conditions, was residing with his parents. Last Wednesday morning, Sutherland, with his parents in tow, after meeting with his attorney Peter Champagny, King's Counsel, was reportedly en route to the Supreme Court, where the trial was to begin when he disappeared after exiting their vehicle. Champagny told the court that according to a account from Sutherland's mother, the routine would be that they would drop the accused at the entrance of the court and they would move their vehicle to go and park and then come across while he registers at the entrance at the Supreme Court. This morning, what obtained based on what the surety is saying is that the routine was the same as before, save and except when they dropped him off at the entrance of the court, he did not come inside the courtyard. He went southerly, and as a result of that, they thought it suspicious, drove him down to speak with him, but he made his way, the attorney told the tribunal at the time. Champagny has in the meantime declared that he has no intention of continuing to represent Sutherland and sought leave of the court to be released from the arrangement. Justice Pusey at the time, in ordering that Sutherland's mother be taken into custody, had said she would remain in custody of the court until arrangements are made in relation to the bond. He said those arrangements may not necessarily relate only to the immediate transfer of funds. Meanwhile, officials at the island's sea and airports were placed on high alert for the accused, for whom a stop order had been in place. PSOJ calls Warmington's comment on Mark Golding's skin color distasteful. The private sector organization of Jamaica has expressed their disappointment with recent utterances by Government Minister Everald Warmington about the skin color of opposition leader Mark Golding. Speaking at a Jamaica Labour Party constituency meeting on Sunday, Mr. Warmington said Mr. Golding's skin color would be a hindrance to him becoming Prime Minister. But PSOJ President Keith Duncan said these comments are racially divisive and have no place in the Jamaican context, as they are inconsistent with the motto, out of many one people. Mr. Duncan said Mr. Warmington's utterances also contravene the political code of conduct signed by political representatives. He noted that the distasteful and divisive statements from either side of the political fence cannot be condoned or supported. Mr. Duncan added Jamaicans had to collectively hold each other accountable for our conduct, which he said can influence antisocial behaviors in society. The PSOJ president called for Prime Minister Andrew Holness and opposition leader Mark Golding to manage the tone of the communication of their political operatives to ensure it is in line with the agreed code of conduct. Fisher folk to get $16 million compensation for Rio Cobre fish kill. Fishers affected by the July fish kill in the Rio Cobre in St. Catherine are to be awarded $16 million in compensation. Matthew Samuda, Minister with responsibility for the environment, says that the National Environment and the Planning Agency had recommended more than $57 million. It's estimated that 70 fishermen were affected by the pollution. Mr. Samuda said the payment will be in addition to other allocations for fishers who were affected. We have committed to, in line with the Ministry of Agriculture's assessment for farmers and fisherfolk, provide greater assistance as we come to new budgets, he said. Mr. Samuda explained that because the fish kill happened in the middle of the budget cycle, the government wouldn't be able to react in that way in the short term. However, he insisted that the government would address the shortfall in other budgets to fall in line with the Ministry of Agriculture and the Fisheries assessment of about $55 million of displacement. Along with the compensation for the fisherfolk, NEPA will receive $15 million for ecological assessment and $10 million for natural resources valuation, while $14.3 million was awarded for oversight of remediation works by UC Russell Windalco. The National Water Commission will receive almost $43 million for revenue and operational losses, while the National Irrigation Commission will get a little more than $17.4 million. The funds are to come from the Environmental Performance Bond, valued at approximately $117 million. Noting that the recommended compensation is beyond the value of the bond, Mr. Samuda said this will be addressed with upcoming budgetary allocations as well as through other legal channels to hold the Windalco accountable. Pointing to what he termed as the weakness in the bond, the minister said NEPA has been tasked to reassess all environmental performance bonds for industrial actors to determine the adequacy. This will be an extensive process and is likely to take approximately 6 months. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.